Dobre rano, moi canale. Good morning, my channel. We're here at the Hampton Inn by Hilton Hotel in Oswiecim, Poland. Today is going to be a rest day. You can hear it in my throat and in my voice. I got some kind of chest and sinus cold. That's from earlier in the trip. Air conditioning always seems to do that to me. Also would explain why yesterday, even though it was super hot out, why I was so wiped out. My body is fighting some kind of cold here. It's raining this morning. It's going to continue raining. Drops the temperatures down, which is great. So it's a perfect day for a rest day here. We're going to rest up. And then tomorrow, temperatures should be cooler. We're going to push for the border of the Czech Republic. We're going to try to see if we can make it all the way to Ostrava, or at least Bohemil. We're going to definitely cross the border and we can check Poland off our list of going completely across. But today we need some more rest. I hope this cold and this phlegm in my, right here in my chest and up here in my sinus cavity, I hope it breaks free and get rid of it. I need to keep hydrating more as well. Okay, let's go downstairs and enjoy the beautiful continental breakfast, and then I think we'll go take a look at some of the things here in town. Oswiecim is also in German. That's Auschwitz, and I know less than 2 miles outside of town you can walk over to the camp from World War II that was over there. That was the concentration camp. So after breakfast, and once it stops raining, I think I'll just take a little walk. It'll be good to stretch the legs, get a little bit of exercise. I'll walk over there, document that a little bit. Okay, ciao ciao for now. It's pouring out right now. The temperatures have really dropped. It's about 62 degrees. I'm actually really cold right now. Since yesterday it was 96. 35 degrees cooler here. Good day for a rest day here. It was just good timing on my part here. Remember, even the Lord rested on the 7th day here. So 6 days of riding, 1 day of rest. All right, let's go figure out where the breakfast buffet is and hog it up. Quite impressive breakfast buffet this morning. Not quite as good as Novotel, but what do you expect for 75% of the price? Vaječko, some kind of grilled vegetables, bacon, sausages of 2 kinds, tater tots, ham and cheese sandwiches, mustard, ketchup, mayo, little condiments here, olives, pickles, Saborko. Fantastic fruit selection, salads, that'll be for round 2, and then I'll get my Pilecki here, little breakfast sandwiches, cheese, assorted teas, coffee machine, cappuccino, coffee, espresso. We have a waffle maker, jellies and jams, all kinds of sweet treats there, little muffins, chocolate muffins, toaster, bread, breakfast cereals. I already did my half chocolate, half cornflakes, apple juice, orange juice, water, lemonade, hot water for tea, and another coffee machine over here. So, not bad. Let's see what I did for round 1 here already. Okay. Round 1, coffee, banana, cereal, mliko, apple juice, brambora, slanina, klebeček, slunčko, pokorky. Tomatoes, grilled vegetables, vaječko, and the parku. Okay, double hooch. Round 2, more juice, more banana, punchki, some kind of chocolatey thing, muffin, golden melon, pomerange, and grapefruit. Okay, certainly getting well fed. Feeling better today. Now that I've pushed a ton of water and a lot of juice here, feeling good now. My body needs this day off.
Big group of riders this morning. Once the rain stopped, everybody started riding. Me, I'm gonna head out of town here now. I'm going for a little walk. 2 miles on your side of the river is the train tracks. The train tracks are just outside of Oswiecim, and that is where there is the concentration camp. In German, this town was called Auschwitz. It's horrifying things that happen. Terrible part of the World War II history, and some things that we should just definitely never forget. So I'm gonna go over there and check it out here on my bike trip rest day. We were just off the Eurovelo 4 here. You saw that big group of bicyclists there on that guided tour. They definitely do a lot of guided tours here. Really good bike riding here. On the outskirts of Auschwitz, we have the rail station here. As you can see, it's the rail yards. And just on the other side of the rail yards, about a mile off to the west, so they would bring in the rounded up Jewish people, take them here on a train, take them to here, unload them, and take them over to the work camp, concentration camp. The concentration camp here at Auschwitz. And this spur right here, this train track that leads you right to the camp, was built from the main rail yard that I just showed you that I was walking past just a few moments ago. You can see the entryway to the concentration camp here in about 100 meters. And as you go around, you can look and see all the barracks of where they had the prisoners here in the camp. So here you can see how huge this camp was, and along the perimeter of the electrified barbed wire fence with the watchtowers with the German guards, with the prisoners, watching over the prisoners, making sure they don't escape.
Così meticolosi, così precisi. Salutatevi il sindaco e la sua compagna Francesca, ok? Dalla sorella Giovanna. Ok? Perché so che state vicino a Corsi. La compagna di sindaco e la sorella. Allora, no, l'amica di cuore, diciamo. Allora salutate anche quelli di Atletico, ok? Grazie mille, buona giornata. Ciao.
This camp is huge. It stretches for well over, in my guesstimation, about 2 square miles. And there's a lot of buildings in there, and housing there. And I know they said the nearby village of Brzeski had about 500 homes, which the German people confiscated and knocked them down so they could use the wood to build the buildings in here. You get your main entryway right here, though, with the rail line coming in that went right down the middle. That was made out of brick with a single rail car that came in, rail line spur that came in here. This is your main track that went right into the camp here. The front of the camp, we have guard towers. Looks like they're placed every 100 yards. I count 7 or 8 of them going that direction. We got 7 or 8 of them going that direction. And on the going across the camp, I'm looking at about 10. That's a big area that they've got here. And these are the barracks, the wooden barracks where they put the people here. It's the barbed wire. Be careful there. I don't know when the last time I had a tetanus shot. Anyhow, here they would be. Here was their housing over here. Okay. It's a very surreal thing here to really think about the horrible tragedy that happened, something very horrific. Let's not forget it. Let's remember what Simon Wiesenthal said at the Museum of Tolerance that he has in Los Angeles. You don't have to like me. I just don't want you to hate me. All you have to do is tolerate me. Tolerate people. Can't we all just tolerate each other? I kind of think that's a very good lesson in life. Can't we just tolerate? By the way, hopefully you're doing more than just tolerating the Danny Slant channel here. Make sure to please hit that subscribe button, hit the bell notifications, leave a like, leave a comment. It allows me to continue bringing you the fantabulous content of the Danny Slant channel. And as I'm walking along here, I'm reflecting on what a privilege it is that United States citizens have. You know, something about our constitutional rights that would have prevented this from happening. First Amendment, free speech, right to practice any religion that you want. And more importantly, from a practicality standpoint, 2A. I think of the small group in the Warsaw ghetto that held out against the German soldiers there with just a small group of small arms for 28 days. But yeah, that's a very important one that I know they keep pushing for, especially in my home state of California. They love to try to take away those rights. Yeah. How quickly it could turn into something like this. Some kind of disagreement, some kind of political agenda. The next thing you know, you're all going camping. Except it's not the kind of camping that I like. You know, I like glamping or car camping or my favorite bicycle adventures camping. Although lately, at my age, I enjoy the hotel with good food and a hot shower every night. Yeah. Look at this. I'll be walking a mile here. All the way along this direction. And just look, each building. And each building probably housed hundreds. Crammed in there on little bunks. Less than 15 yards apart from each other, just one on top of another, on top of another. This building that's behind me, this was the Commandant's headquarters here. This was his, this is where the Commandant lived. And in 1982, they were gonna knock it down. But the Catholic Church stepped up and said, we'll make it a retreat center just to preserve the memory here so that people don't forget what happened out here. So this is where the Commandant stayed. Anyhow, a lot of suffering, a lot of tragedy, a lot of deaths at this camp here. Hundreds of thousands at this camp alone. Never forget. Don't allow it. Don't let your heart go to that side. Don't allow the hatred. Let's not let this ever happen again. Okay. We got this little Volkswagen Polo heirloom edition, where they made it in every color, so that when you went into the dealership you could decide which color you wanted, but then they still sold them off like that. I like all the little small fuel efficient cars they have here in Central and Eastern Europe. Only wish we had them for sale in the United States without having some kind of hybrid battery type of thing. These cars get over 50 miles to the gallon. No need to plug them into anything. Cirque Corona. That's the King Circus. Cirque Corona coming in soon. making my way back toward the city with the main rail line right here. Gonna take the pedestrian underpass here. A Russian Red Army prisoner of war camp. And there they also eliminated the soldiers there as well. Now, what you got to realize is that we are really far west in Poland. We are only 50, 60 miles from the Czech border, about 70 miles from the Slovakian border. I mean, the Red Army was all the way over here, so much the fact that they caught them, put them in a prisoner of war camp, but then they were liberated. But instead of liberating them, they basically eliminated them. So we're gonna go over to the town's Soviet Red Army Memorial, which is a couple kilometers up this way. Look how clean it is under here. Going under the train tracks here. A couple security cameras up above. No graffiti. Everything's clean. Brzezinka that way. Go to your whatever respective platform that you need to go to take whatever train you want. Just super clean, and gotta really like that. Very clean. Very well maintained environment here. That's there for the train station. So that's where I was yesterday. This is where I rode my bike. Today's my day of rest. Tomorrow I'm gonna go to Oderberg and a little bit further beyond into the Czech Republic. So there's trains you can take to get there. Although it's really hard to get your bike on a train, and I want the personal satisfaction of my own personal fitness endurance here, that I can continue riding my bike all the way across Poland, all the way across Ukraine, and across Czech Republic. As I struggle up these steps, look at this. Ow, ow, ow. Okay. We're about a mile and a half on the other side of the train tracks. And over here is the memorial to the Soviet Red Army, which there's not much left here as countries overthrew the communist government. The memorials really aren't maintained, but this one is still here, although there might have been some kind of statue or something up on the top that they took down. Yeah, this was 1945. Armia Radzicki, the Red Army. They had Russian soldiers who were prisoners of war, and instead of knowingly letting them be liberated, because they know they would join the forces of the Red Army and continue pushing their way west to Berlin, the Commandant and his people in the camp killed them. So here is, excuse me, this is the mass grave. 700 Red Army soldiers here that were shot and killed and buried here. Here's a memorial in the park for Witold Pilecki. Witold was a Polish cavalry officer, and he was in the Polish-Soviet War of 1920, and then also the September campaign in '39, including the Warsaw Uprising. He was put into the Auschwitz concentration camp, and when the camp was liberated, he was the author of the first report of the Holocaust, Witold's report. He was definitely a Polish patriot. What ended up happening to him is 3 years later, the Polish communist authorities, they executed him. Yeah, that's part of a history that they don't talk much about. Yeah, the Polish people, once the Red Army and the communism took over for what they divided up after World War II, yeah, they decided that they didn't want any resistance because they realized these were soldiers that were capable of leading, training, and running armies that could fight against them. So instead of trying to indoctrinate them or switch them or, you know, try to get them, they just executed them. All right, it's time for lunch. Are we gonna have some kuchina polska? Ne. Kuchina amerycka? Tak, tak. Where are we gonna go for lunch? My old go-to. Old standby. And that is the one and only McDonald's. After all the very historical things we saw today, let us not ever take for granted our American freedoms. And because of that, I'm going to support one of the best American guys that was ever out there, Ray Kroc, who was a Slavic American from Chicago. Mój rodny dom. There you go. Let's go ahead and get ourselves a little hamburgeroo and something cold to drink. Mam Zizhin. You just brought my McDonald's. Coke Zero. Royale with cheese. And no fries. Getting tired of fritki. I'm actually going to get a mixed salad here. A mixed salad with a vinaigrette dressing. Okay. Dober hooch. We're here at Restauracja Na Rynku, which means restaurant on the square here in Staro Miasto, Oswiecim. And I've been in Poland this whole time, and not once have I gotten perogies. So since tonight's probably my last night in Poland, if I push hard enough for the Czech border tomorrow, I better get my perogies on tonight. Anyhow, here's my soup, my zupa, polewka, some kind of Polish. I can see vaječko and kiełbaso in there. So, double hooch. And here's the main course, pierogi. Half are cheese and the other half are meat with sauerkraut and a garlic dipping sauce. Yum. If you're ever in a foreign country and you see a bankomat, PNB Paribas, that's definitely a good one to pick. That's not going to hit you with the extra fees if you are withdrawing on your ATM card from a US bank. I believe they are a partner bank with Bank of America and also Wells Fargo, so you're not going to get hit and won't be any sketchiness. Some of these bankomats got to watch out for, so definitely want to pick a big known European bank. On the other side of the square I see ING, that's another good one. Okay, I stuffed myself here for dinner, of course. Burning a lot of calories on the bike trip. We can afford to eat these big meals. Zupa a pierogi. Good. So, on that note, from Staro Miasto, Old Town Square, Oswiecim, it's Danny Slant saying ciao ciao for now.